What up? I'm not gonna. We are there. We actually are there. What up, YouTube? Let's get a little clear. Shake it off. Shake it off. I'm not wearing a sports coat because I'm all sweaty. And I want my sport coat to sweat and stink. I'm gonna send some invitations to everybody. So we go to copy link. Copy video link, close. Then we go into the text chat. Let me go ba 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 ba. Boo 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 boo. Then we go over here. Ba ba ba. Then we go to Instagram and invite a homie. Then we go over to Telegram and invite a homie. And then all the homies should be here and we get the show started. So if you bear with me, as per usual, if you're watching the rebroadcast, I would wait about 3 minutes. And not many of you are watching the rebroadcasts. Very few, if I'm being honest. And I'm not offended or upset about it, if we're going to be honest, because there's just too much to choose from. There's so much to choose from. I don't have a regular show. It's just all over the place. So if some of Kane's friends are watching, thank you, sir, and I apologize in advance. Okay, everybody's been invited. 124 in. Everybody's invited. I think we should be good. But man, I might lose my mind. I've got to close a door. Okay, I got to go grab a monitor and close the door, or I'm gonna lose it. We'll talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. Don't judge my pants. Got the monitor. The situation is monitored. The situation is being monitored. And also, stop monitoring the situation. Concurrent viewer, Rachel Nicole. What up, homie? Sup, homie? Sup, homie? I don't have my microphone on. Just a second. Man. Rachel. What a year. Fucking Christ. I had man, Rachel. Ray. Ray's in the house. Ray's in the house. Ray's in the house. Ray, what would you like from me? What would you like to talk about? Do you want to just shoot from the hip? I got notes. Do you want me to distract you or want me to talk about the hell of my day? The ATF just left your house. Son of a bitch, please tell me more. Maybe I'll go ahead and open up a channel. Me and Ray can talk about what happens when the ATF showed up at my kid's school one day. Daycare. DEA, not ATF. Those motherfuckers, did they try? Oh my God. Dude, I kind of wish the ladies were here. Have any of the ladies reached out to you after a little chat thing? Because ladies, you should reach out to Ray and say, fuck, I'm so sorry, shit. And I was brought along to some of those sales not knowing they were illegal. Jesus Christ. Well, for what it's worth, he's going to be gone forever. He's going to be gone forever now. Like we already talked about how, the distribution is a real problem. The distribution of no things is a bad idea. And the illegal distribution of guns, that's also a no thing. So this guy's pissed off the FBI, the ATF, and the IRS. And he ain't a billionaire. He ain't got no Jeffrey Epstein who's gonna... So that's good. It sounds more than those 6K videos. So, Ray, I am somewhat auditing my responses to this because it ain't just you and me talking. Somebody might watch this later, so I'm gonna shelve some of this stuff. But man, did he get to beg the question? So is that 3 terabytes just you guys? In the kids' room, So here's a question. Have you had to notify other parents? And I figured it was more, man. What the fuck am I going to say? Right. Oh, man. So we're going to dig into this. We're going to dig into this in a roundabout way. So I had lunch. It seems like we're all having a day today, everybody. Okay. Now that he has a federal warrant and was not home when they went to arrest him, he is with his other girlfriend in Virginia. Well, for what it's worth, he's screwed. And no, it's okay. You can take over my channel. Ray, part of our notes today is it's y'all's fault. It's women's fault, okay? So since them other women ain't here, it's your show because it's their fault. Their fault for not showing the fuck up. So, and man, you're gonna appreciate my rant about the women's. But we're gonna get there in a second. So let me. Oh. So the guy's swallowing a bullet one way or another. Whether he's like crying with the thing in his mouth, or some dude in federal prison gets his hands on him, he's gonna have a bad time. For what it's worth, Jason is headed for a very bad time. And it's not my response. Well, I don't know. Can we talk? I'm going to take off the glasses because I'm not going to do that part yet. And I'm going to talk about it in a roundabout way. And I don't know if I talked about this last week, so if I did, I apologize. But, there's the Charlie Kirk thing. Charlie Kirk got blasted, okay. And now there's the response to Charlie Kirk getting blasted. And a lot of people are like, we need a speedy trial and the government needs to kill that guy. And I'm a devout Christian. Well, let's pause. Oh, and that guy's going to hell and Charlie Kirk is in heaven. Well, okay, so God is the ultimate arbiter of justice in the end. Okay, and this I actually do believe. I do. And I'm going to read your comment in a second, but I don't want to just cycle and spin and trauma bond. Fucking fuck. So, God is the ultimate arbiter of justice. So it's not my responsibility to say whether Charlie Kirk is in heaven. I will pray for his soul. In fact, I pray for the souls of everybody who's died. That's my new philosophy. It's like every night when I go to bed, I pray for everyone who has died in the last year, and I pray God takes their souls and forgives them for their sins. And literally I do this now because I've come to believe that humanity is just fallen. We're in a somewhat evil world. Evil is running amok. We're in the dark times. And that there is a God and it is a benevolent being. But in order for us to exist in its light, we need to not be awful. And somewhat somewhat apologetic and try to seek redemption and everything. All that fun shit. Okay? But it's not... And it's not for me to say who's going to hell or whatever. Okay, so God is the arbiter of that justice. And so it's not also in my place to say, well, let's just go ahead and lynch him. I would like to. But, vengeance is a deadly sin for a reason. And, mob justice is a bad thing. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. The monster isn't the bad guy. We are the bad guy. The mob is the bad guy. So we have structures. We have a structure called the government. The government has a criminal justice system, and he should go through the criminal justice system. And the criminal justice system should find him guilty, and when he does, nail him to the cross. However, this guy falls into a special category I call dead to rights. Fucking drag him behind a truck or a horse until he's no more. And then let's just save a lot of dollars on judges and courtrooms and light bulbs and lawyers' fees and detective work and everything. It's good. Unless we can get a bigger network out of it, which they probably will, and I hope they do. And I hope all of these people go to have a speedy trial. And should they be guilty, they should face the fucking wall. Publicly. publicly face the wall in front of everybody else who's even like thinking about it. Use the Google machine, and like anybody who's ever done an internet search on something, they get invited to the shooting. But I'm going to read this real quick. Other girlfriend, give me a takeover show, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how many specifics I can share here, but that isn't everything, just the worst. Yeah, we'll have a talk soon. I don't know if we can talk today. I've got to grab, I just got I got so much to do. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a show. Because that's what I'm going to do. Because I don't know. It's the purpose. It's my purpose. My purpose is to be out here and talk to the screen for some reason. And I'm going with that purpose. Now, what I was going to talk about is I went to get coffee. So I'm having more coffee. So I'm all jacked on coffee. Went and got coffee with one of the jiu-jitsu dads. And Kyle will be home soon. When she does, I don't talk to her about it. Traumatized her. Yeah, well, it does. It does. She needs to move on. Like, I don't know. Actually, this might be valid. And I would recommend talking to Kyle about it. Especially when it comes up. So when... Because I was talking about PTSD and trauma with this person I was hanging out with who has PTSD. Like, I don't remember. It's like complex PTSD. I'm talking like crazy eyes, like spins PTSD. Where was I going with that one? And PTSD, And he recently just learned how to feel his feelings in his body. So what I would recommend doing is so Kyla's going to relive some of this stuff a lot. And when it does, she's going to make a moral judgment about it. Saw your comment. I'm not going to read it yet, but I will respond to the comment. She's going to make some sort of moral judgment about it. And that moral judgment's going to be something like, this shouldn't have happened. And so it's going to be a denial of reality. And as opposed to doing that, because that'll cause spins, because once you go into that shouldn't have happened, there's a story and a narrative. We're going to talk narrative. But there's a narrative that goes on in our head about this shouldn't happen. I'm a victim. This sucks so bad. Now everybody's going to judge me. And now I'm stained and I'm dirty forever. And it's so awful. And how can I even go to Christmas? I just want to die. Okay, as opposed to, I feel like shit and I'm going to go late. Hey, Brian Clark, you just jumped into the... He's like, hey, guys, I'm here. And then he just falls into the fucking pool of muddy shit. But, so it's, so it's feeling it in the chest. Like, it's wherever you experience, like, mental pain, like whatever the anguish is and the upset. Lay down and see where you can experience and feel it in your body and just kind of like sit there until it dissipates. Then go drink some water, get some electrolytes. It's got what plants crave, and then take a nap. And you'll wake up and you'll feel a little better. We process it just not right when she gets home from school, since she's always in a good mood after school. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love to hear it. Number 2, Brian Clark. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about fucking creeps. So I'm talking with this friend, and he and I are talking at coffee about like processing trauma. And he started doing internal family services, which is internally, I think that's what it stands for, IFS therapy, which is you have a talk with a committee that's inside your brain and figure out like what aspect, like what part of you is traumatized from which part of a childhood, and then created an identity around it. And what is that identity protecting? And so then you talk to the identity that's actually being protected by the like created identity, like the secondary identity. And then like figure out and be like, hey, I understand that you had a lot of trauma, but like, this is 40 years later, bro. And I'm jacked. Just kidding, I'm not jacked yet, but I will get there. And I'm in jiu-jitsu, and that's sick. So don't worry. Uncle, Daddy, you, Jacob's got it. Okay? Okay, cool. So that one like transforms. Then you talk to the one that's the guardian and be like, hey, so like, you know, the thing that you're protecting, it don't need no protecting no more, because also I'm 45 and you don't need to do this. And like it's like a scared 8-year-old with a sword, like trying to like fight off the raptor or something. Hey, dude, that's not your responsibility. Let's go ahead and do this. And then it's taking the charges out of your identity. And what that does is also allows you to integrate your identity. So it integrates the trauma and becomes part of the collective whole. And then You're nice, whole, complete, and perfect, as you already were before, but you don't have like such a fractured ego. Because we want an integrated ego. The ego is not the bad guy, okay? It's a machine. It's a machine that is trying to protect us. However, it protects us by traumatizing us. So we got to work together. You and me, ego, we got this. So I'm talking with homie, and I'm like, hey, homie, what's up? And we're talking kids, and like, how do we protect our kids? And then he taught me about a term called tricky people. And we're going to talk about that for a second. Whoop-a-boo. And Brian Clark, welcome to the jungle. Should you choose to continue watching the show, what do you want to talk about, dog? You want to talk about all them fatties in the military that the Secretary of War, the SOW, God, I fucking hate these people. The SOW talked about. He called up all the generals and was like, hey, why can't you guys do no pull-ups? You're generals. We're going to kick you out. It's basically like the Trump administration figured out a way to kick out all of the Obama administration people, which arguably I think that's probably good for the military. Because the military does not need to be politicized like everything else that administration touched. So, tricky people. Not the sow. Yeah. The sow's getting fat and fat. I don't know, but like the stream's current bitrate is the lower than recommended. Okay, it's whatever. YouTube, I love you. Distribute my channel to everybody. I'm back to wanting to be a streamer, sort of. So, Dan Lamborghini's in the house. Gorilla Dan's gonna get some work. He's gonna get some work. After Antifa smashed to bits, and then the giant fucking Israeli panopticon comes up and the chuds go to blow it up. Before you go blow up some infrastructure for them server farm AIs things that are trying to enslave all of humanity, you go see Gorilla Dan. He's got a deal for you. 15% off. Use promo code Jacob Says Fuck It. And that is, it's Jacob Says Fuck It. And it's SES, not SAYS. I know it's not a really good one, but it's because I don't want Dan to lose no money. Okay, so we're gonna go with tricky people. How is Nick Fuentes bigger than me? I'm kidding. He's a really good streamer. He's funny. I don't think he's funnier than me, but he's pretty funny. Display CAD, double clicks there, tricky people. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Gemini's little description right here. Which, if we just go off real quick, I'm not a big fan of AI. And like Gemini, I mean, Google's going to win. Let's just get real for a second. Real talk. Real world season Jacob. That's not bad. This is Starbucks coffee. So it's Starbucks Pike Place. You can buy it at Costco. And they had a promo on it. It was like $5 off. Promo code, get Jacob coffee. Google has the money for it. Google has the money for it, and they have the infrastructure for it. So besides just having the money, which they have such a pile of money, they already have the largest server farms in the world besides AWS. And, you know, search is going to die over time. Like, they're still making a bunch of money off search, but they still have all this search data. And they have just tons and tons and tons of data and tons and tons and tons of like architecture and fiber optic cable and just info and Android and everything that they might as well just move into the AI space. It's like, well, we already got all these fucking computers, better use them for something. And that's why they're going to win. They're already there. Like, they're already just integrated into fucking everything. So, I'll go ahead and use the AI overview. And AI overview, like, I know we talk about AI a fair amount. And you guys probably are well aware of, like, how to use AI. Actually, why does my show always have to have me talk about so many different concepts? To explain, like, what's happening in here. So, real quick concept, we're going to call it Dunning-Kruger. So the Dunning-Kruger effect was created by two psychologists. I'm guessing they're named Dunning and Kruger. And it started because there was a guy who put lemon juice on his face. He went to rob a bank. Okay. And so they saw his face on the camera, and then he like got arrested. He's like, "Wait, how could you arrest me? I put lemon juice on my face." Like, what are you talking about? Well, it's like, if you're going to make invisible ink, use lemon juice to do it. And so he figured the lemon juice would make his face invisible to cameras. Yes, this is true. And so Dunning and Kruger took a look at this and be like, man, why is this guy such a dumb shit? And why was he so confident about it? The less you know, the more you think you know. So there is nothing as confident as ignorant. Okay? Dumb motherfuckers are the most confident fucking people in the world. Side note, we follow confident people. Confidence will win the day. I've been wrong. I have been so unbelievably wrong and so confident that people who knew I was wrong fell in line. I saw it happen in front of me and I was like, this? Just kidding. But it was like, man, this is really weird. This is just like the weirdest shit in the world. I might respect women a little less, but don't worry, the men I don't respect either, so you're lucky, women. Anyways, so another way of thinking about it, well, actually, there's like a curve. There's like a learning curve. And so let's take a contractor, for example, like somebody who's a carpenter. So, young person walks up and like, I'm going to be a contractor. This is my first day at work. I know about wood. Look at all the wood. I got no wood. And so they think they know absolutely everything about wood ever, and there's no talking to them. And then very, very, very quickly, like day one on the job, hopefully their mentor person is like, okay, so measure twice, cut once. Hopefully this person lets them make some mistakes, and hopefully they make those mistakes fast so they learn that they just need to listen to the expert on this one. Listen to the journeyman who's been doing this for 15 years. He knows more than you, usually. And so what happens is you think, I'm going to read that in a second, Dan Lamborghini. But first you're like, I know everything. I'm king shit. Oh, I know fucking nothing. And so after like 2 years of being a woodworker, you're like, I just don't even know. It's like, okay, well, I don't know how to frame a house. So you get to this thing of, that you don't know anything. Like so much you don't know. Like a staggering amount you don't know. And so, okay, cool, got that. And then what happens is your knowledge starts creeping up. And then what happens is you eventually become a journeyman. And the difference between a journeyman's confidence and the confidence over here is the dumb motherfucker is still more confident than the journeyman. Okay? No, a lot more confident. But the journeyman's like, okay, so you're going to replace your kitchen. I got that. However, this could be a can of worms, okay? Like, I don't know what's behind the counter. I don't know if there's any rot. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take it out. We're going to see what's there. And then we're going to just take it one step at a time. You got that? Okay, cool. Dunning-Kruger. Invisible lemon juice face precisely describes most of my life's foibles. It's funny. Why are we on the Dunning-Kruger effect? Because of AI. So, if you don't know anything on a subject and are totally ignorant, AI is probably not the best place to start. The best place to start is probably Google, and just do some Googles, and I'm going to Google this and, read some stuff, and maybe I'll read a book on it or some articles, and I'll read more articles, and I'll read some articles that say something different, or a book that says something different, and then different perspectives on how we can look at exactly the same thing, and then get some perspective, and then you use AI. That is one powerful tool. But you need to have a filter in place to be able to sort through the nonsense. Because if you just accept it at face value, you're screwed. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to tricky people. And Dan Lamborghini, what we are talking about right now is chomos and how to protect kids from them. So AI overview. And Meta, I'm not talking to you. Side note, I'm getting rid of technology sometime in the next 5 years. I'm going to make $1 million a year, and at that point, I am hiring somebody to be my technology officer. And technology officer means they read my emails for me. They send them to me. They deal with my text messages. All I have is a flip phone. I talk, and that's about it. I'm done. I'm not going to have the watch. I'm not going to have the glasses. I'm not going to have the phone. I don't want the tablet. I've had it. I've had it with the technologists. They have not made our lives one bit better. And not that I'm some sort of Luddite, it's just that these motherfuckers, Dan. Fuck. Sorry, excuse my language. Excuse it. Man, Emily was right. I swear so much on my stream. She got that one right. Okay, let me see. Dan Lamborghini's comment. When I learn a subject, I like to build a knowledge of its history, key people concepts, and specialist language. Yeah, that's a cool one. I like to, well, it's a mixed bag for me, Dan Lamborghini. So I found you could use AI to build that quickly. You can. It is true. But there's still like, so you have a framework in place that already exists of logic and critical thinking. And whatever crazy bullshit you already know, okay? So you already have enough knowledge to be able to use like AI effectively. Does that make sense? Like you have to have like a foundational framework. Like that foundational framework can be reading and writing, and then it should be just reading books, just reading like, and not that vampire smut that you're all reading, ladies. Like I haven't even gotten my show notes, but goddamn am I disgusted with you guys. Not you, Ray, but them other bitches, like some of them that we know. Who's blowing me up? I'm streaming, you son of a bitch. Oh man, I need to actually, next Wednesday, 10 a.m., got it. And no, Siri, I'm not talking to you. I'm just looking at the fucking message that you sent to me. I'm streaming. And now my fucking glasses are blinking. They're like, oh my god, oh, you opened me, you touched me. Block. Meta's here, block. Siri's here, block. I didn't ask for any of you motherfuckers. I'm trying to talk to Ray about how dumb women are and talk to Dan S about how fucking dumb men are. God, Jesus. And now it's going to go boop, boop, boop again. Oh, now that it's on my face, it's not saying that it's on my face. You can't use AI to build an integrative function within a subject. I'll just go with yes. I'm too ignorant to talk about it. Man, see, it just threw my thing. I'm going to go back to the AI overview, okay? I'm just moving ahead. Specialist, the guide you can use. AI overview, tricky people. Tricky people is a phrase and concept used to teach children about potential dangers from people who may not be strangers, but rather someone known to them who might try to manipulate or harm them. Tricky people appear normal or helpful, but use deceptive tactics to break rules, isolate children, and gain their trust to exploit them. Key strategies for teaching children about tricky people include empowering them to trust their instincts. A book you all need to read. Or, if you know enough, you can use an AI overview. This is it. The Gift of Fear. That's the book, okay? All y'all's kids to read it. And I'm not mad at you, Danis. I could never be mad at you. I just love your cherub-like face. Too much. Which you're just trying to gain my trust. I'm kidding. Okay, so key strategies for teaching children about tricky people include empowering them to trust their instincts. That book. Teach them to say no to uncomfortable situations. Identify. Man, I've done that, but son of a bitch, is it annoying? Teaching them to say no to uncomfortable situations, identifying trusted adults so they can go to for help, and using unique family passwords to ensure they are with a safe person. What is a tricky person? Appearance versus reality. A tricky person might look or act friendly and normal, but their intent is to deceive or harm. Manipulation tactics. They use tactics like gifts and attention, offering gifts or compliments to gain favor. Secrets and rule breaking. Asking a child to keep a secret or encouraging them to break rules. This one we've talked about. Alone time. Trying to isolate a child by arranging to be alone with them. That's disgusting. That reminds... my poor... I'm just going to stop. I know a kid who's might be in trouble because of that one. False urgency or emergencies. Creating a sense of urgency or an emergency to pressure a child into acting. Blame. Shifting blame to a child or saying it's their fault. Why use tricky people instead of stranger danger? Empowerment. The term tricky people empowers children by focusing on behaviors to watch for rather than a physical appearance. Addresses a wider threat. It addresses the reality that dangerous individuals are often not strangers, but people children may know, such as relatives or neighbors. There's a couple of those in my life. I can't say much more beyond that, but thanks, family member who said, hey, guess what? Thanks a lot. I'm going to remember that one. Actually, I'm going to remember that one for life. I'm pretty good with that kid, but I'm going to really throw her a solid. Trust and instincts. It emphasizes listening to their feelings and instincts if a person or a situation feels wrong. So I live in a liberal paradise, which means when I take my kid to jiu-jitsu, it's like, okay, hold your breath. It smells like urine. And yeah, check out those scary people. How do those scary people make you feel? I don't know. Good. Trust that always. Trust that one always because they're not good people. Let me see. Trust and instincts. It emphasizes listening to feelings and instincts if a person or a situation feels wrong. How to teach children about tricky people. Identify trusted adults. Help your child identify 3 to 5 trusted adults, parents, teachers, or other relatives they can talk to if something feels wrong. Good one. Create a family password. Establish unique family... Okay, sorry, but this thing's all over the place. Create a family password. Establish a unique family password that a tricky person would not know, ensuring child only goes with someone who knows the password. I'm such a control freak that's not really... I'm not too concerned about that. Respect feelings and boundaries. Teach them that their feelings are valid and they have the right to say no without needing to explain themselves, especially if a situation makes them feel uncomfortable, scared, or sad. Long story short, we've had a long talk with the girls and just like, you know what? Unless it's mom and dad, you can tell them to go fuck off. Ongoing conversations. Make these discussions an ongoing dialogue rather than a one-time talk to reinforce the message over time. Done that. Online safety. Explain that tricky people can also be online, even if they look like a friendly profile picture. Yeah, they don't get to play no Roblox. Which maybe Roblox will finally get destroyed. Wouldn't that be nice for humanity? They keep on arresting a Elote man, and I've had it. I was pro immigration reform, kick them out of the country until they went after that beautiful corn selling Lego man. And by the way, if you haven't been on TikTok and see the immigration courts that are happening on TikTok, the children are both all right and they ain't all right. You can be on the side of ICE agents or you can be on the side of like the migrant protesters. Legit, that's legitimately happening in Roblox. I don't even know how that happens. How do you do that? I don't know what a Roblox is. I didn't even play Minecraft. Like one time I made a big smiley face in the sky. Ugh, sorry. Fucking. I need to take a shower after this conversation. I fucking hate child molesters. Which, actually, we're not exactly going to get into that. We're going to pivot. We're going to pivot to my show notes. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, please let me know. If you want to talk about the government shutdown, I got nothing for you. I allegedly heard that the government might be shutting down, and they shut it down. And you can tell how upset and concerned I am right now. Which, actually, we're going to go into narrative control in a brave new war. So with this, friends, and again, I live in a very progressive place. And all of them read Heather Cox Richardson. Which, let's just go ahead and... Oh, I'm not sure I'm getting smart glasses ever again. They're awesome, but at the same time, I don't think so. Heather Cox Richardson, tricky person. Heather Cox Richardson, this fucking bitch. And if anybody from me says, anybody like here is like, oh, you can't say that. Right. People also search for Gavin Newsom, that freaking psychopath, and Joyce Mason, Robert Reich, that fucking psychopath. The little troll just bugs the shit out of me so bad. No, I ain't doing that. I ain't subscribing to this. So let me see if I can find archive. Archive support. Alright, so I was subsecking. Okay, I don't. Do you have like an about? There we go. About. Is that the same about that I clicked on? It is. It don't matter. Long story short, she's got the biggest Substack in the world. She's got like 2.4 million followers. She's got something like 8,000 sponsors, I think. And let me just see how much that costs. No, I'm not subscribing to her. But they probably give her $10 a month. So let's just do that. She's making somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million a year off Substack. And who is she? Let's go back a little bit. She is allegedly a historian. Maybe I'm just going to do Wikipedia. Even though I don't trust Wikipedia. Wikipedia was just a dream. Age 62 is Chicago, Illinois. Man, look at all these wonderful people that keep coming from Chicago. Education, Harvard University, academic. Heather Cox Richardson, born October 8th. Oh, happy birthday, Heather. See you in a week. 1962, as an American historian. Motherfuckers, I'm going to just rant real quickly. Historians were busy like screaming during COVID and just fucking lying their ass off instead of doing the goddamn job of recording history. I fucking hate these people. I'm done. Sorry. Is an American historian who works as a professor of history at Boston College. Ooh, I bet she's great. Where she teaches courses on the American Civil War, the Reconstruction era, the American West, and the Plains Indians. She previously taught history at MIT and the MIT. I'm gonna bitch about MIT. Yeah, fuck you. Okay, and then the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Richardson has authored 7 books on history and politics. Oh, good. She makes money. She's making all that money from there, and then she's making all that money from there. And you know how she's selling 1 million books? Because her fucking publisher has some deal with the Democratic Party and whoever for her to be the propagandist to, and they buy all the books. They don't even fucking print them. But they buy them. It's such a scam. That's how Barack Obama sells 18 million books. I'm sorry. Barack Obama might do it, but that's how General Milley will sell 2 million books. Give me a fucking break. Okay, Richardson is often 7 books in history. In 2019, she started publishing Letters from an American, a nightly newsletter that chronicles current events in the larger context of American history. Richardson focuses on the health of American democracy. Oh, but democracy. We're not even... Fuck you with your democracy. The dictatorship's coming. Get ready for red or blue Caesar, everybody. He's on his way. Probably won't be a chick. The newsletter has gained over 1 million subscribers, making her, as of December 2020, the most successful individual author of a paid publication on Substack. Now, all right, everybody. The show's live, so we're going to see how this goes. My first attempt at it. Ow! Dan Lamborghini. I've been going... No, Dan Lamborghini over here. My eyes are up here. So I have been... my pecs hurt. I've been working out. I've been working it. We got to... Excuse me. So I've been talking about working my trap. I'm getting my triangle, which is somewhat helping fix my neck. So if you got the, that neck, what you got to do is an exercise called face pulls. And what you do is, it's with a cable, and you hold, if you can picture the rope going in upside down, so that whatever you're holding on to, like the fulcrum is right here, and then you just pull it towards your face and back, hence face pulls. Watch the, but where it's pulling is right here, so this works your traps in your upper back, and so it'll slowly strengthen these muscles, and it straightens out your spine and everything. It gets your yoke going. So I've been doing that, but yesterday was like, actually I think it was the day before. I'm still sore, bro. I'm still sore. That's how sick that lift was. Incline bench, dumbbell press, and then some other crap. I don't know. And so what I'm doing in my off days now, actually I'm just doing it every day, fuck it, is I'm doing my swings. This thing, actually I can even tell you how much this is. This bad boy right now is probably at about 28 pounds. Anyway, so I do like swingies and I do over the head shit. Because what I'm trying to do is basically like not be angry all the time. Burn some calories. And I'm doing this wrong, by the way. This is not the exercise. This is me just kind of like futzing it around and not trying to hurt myself. But it's really going to strengthen your yoke muscles as well as your grip strength, okay? Because like having the weight be up here forces it to be like, oh God, I have to, oh God, and it hurts my pecs. I'm putting it down. Dan, why didn't you say no? I blame you. I got me a bat. That's a good bat. Now, Ray, if you want to really get good at swinging that bat, swing this son of a bitch around. But by a course. And see a coach and learn proper form. And I got to tell you, man, you're just going to hit so much harder. Just so much harder. Like, where it's really got me is we're going off, like, totally off the reservation now. Because I know your kid's learning Krav Maga. And what I would love to encourage is learning some judo, too. So there is Horigoshi... Uchi. Actually, Uchimata to armbar is fucking awesome. But we'll just do an Uchimata. How about Uchimata highlights? That's pretty sick. Oh, shut up, bitch. So you can get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccine. Why can't I? Fucking. Everything leads back to judo. Bro, it does. No, I'm not getting fucking whatever. So let's go here. So look at homie grab, boom! So I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to move it over here so we can get a little bit. My kid's doing judo, by the way, and it's so sick. This is her throw. And so come on, just go back a second here. So homie has control of the lapel up here and the arm. And actually it should be in another place. Oh, but he's throwing it. So you can throw it in different ways. And so what he's doing is he's grabbing here and then turning and throwing. And if you see his leg right here, boop, boop, boop. Oh, you can't see it, so let me see if I can point. His leg right here, it sweeps up behind him, and then he's going to land on top of him. Boom. Straight into side control. And so if you do it at side control, see how that guy's arm is up? Right here, his arm is up. You can just throw that into an arm bar and boom, break the leg. I want you to see how fast you could break somebody's arm and fucking destroy them. And he throws, slammed on concrete, bam, breaks his arm. That's all it takes. That's literally all you got to do, kids. Oh man, there's another friend who's going through. But let's watch a few more Uchimatas. Boom! Lands on top of him. That's like right on the rib cage. There you go. Boom! Lands on top of him. Side control. Arm. Oh god! You go blew a ball. Oh wow, that was. Well, that was. I mean, he did it. He got a point. So good for him. Wait. I'll go boom! Right in his dick. Okay, so. Why are we talking about the Uchimata, everybody? Oh, Oh, for the fucking the bat and the swingy thing. So if you think about taking like a 35-pound bat, and so then you're like, okay, great, and then you got the grip strength for him, and so you're squaring off against somebody, you just grab them, and then you turn and you throw the fuck out of them. And they have flying one, like a flying Uchimata. I'm actually, I know, like I have notes and everything, and I'm bitching about Heather Cox Richardson, but judo is just so much cooler. Let me see if I can find my bookmarks. Because, man, why does Instagram... I really... You know, I get mobile first, and I appreciate it to some extent, but I would love to be able to find some stuff. Oh, there's my book. Because, man, the computer version of this. Okay, so we got that, we got that, we got Judo Jiu-Jitsu, there we go. I want to show you like my favorite throw ever. And it's slow motion, but it's just like slow motion jiu-jitsu is just so sick. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Let me see if I can pull that one up. Here, let me, I gotta slide this over real quick. And I can't replay. We're gonna go through this again, so don't worry too much. Blue's saving himself, Blue's saving himself, Blue ain't saving fuck, y'all! So let's just take a look at how this is like going again. So, he's reaching from behind. Now he's blocking with that leg. And he's up on the leg. He's about to throw it. And the guy's like, oh, fucking no. But then he's able to get into position. Gets the leg just right. I have him. Plants the right foot. Leans back. Torques. And hits motherfucker with a planet. Judo is the shit. I'm done. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's talk a bitch about Heather Cox Richardson. Aren't you glad we all found each other? Isn't it good? I really encourage everyone to learn some judo. Just learn like 1 or 2 throws. What I learned from judo is all I have to do is grab somebody and then kick them in the foot, and they will fall every time. Because nobody knows how to deal with getting kicked in the foot. And it's not like let's just pretend this is my foot. You hit them right at the bottom of the foot. Boom, like all the force sweeps against the ground, hits the foot, and they'll go flying. If you hit it like dead on, there's too much I can't think of the word, but the force gets driven into the concrete or the ground as opposed to like lifted from the ground. If that makes sense. So right now my kid shits. I got it. Okay, I eventually we'll talk about Heather, I guess, or whatever we end up talking about. 47 minutes into my show, I haven't even gotten to my notes really. So my kid's learning jiu-jitsu, judo, and kickboxing, and the kickboxing coach. We need to work on your communication, coach. But Muay Thai kicks below the waist, karate kicks above the waist, and what I want to do is get him into open hand. If you really want to learn the power of open hand, check out Ross Booten, however you say his name is, and that the UFC has banned open hand strikes. TLDR, he ruptured a guy's liver by just palming it. Boom. You can hit so much harder by palming rather than blah, blah, blah. And so if you're looking for anything like that kind of stuff, Dutch kickboxing. It's legit. It's legit. I wish we had it. But, you know, Muay Thai is really effective and they got that cardio. So, long story short, the TLDR about Heather Cox Richardson and why I even bring her up and why I bring all of this stuff. Oh, because I plugged in the iPad. Let's see if it works. Let's go, guys. Let's go. LFG. Come on, follow or scan. I'm touching you. Why aren't you? Okay. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, so I got like the cutest kids in the world. Okay, let's see if this guy. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Welcome to the future of the Corona Cafe. Woo! 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 Yeah! How do you like the future now? Yeah! Take that, Sam Altman. Yeah! Oh no, that jizz is going on me. Cancel. Backspace. Oh, there we go. We're gonna go back to eyebrows though. Fucking. I'm sorry. I'm like this. I don't mean to. Oh, and it's charged. Pencil's charged. My pencil's charged. Oh my God, everybody, I got a charged pencil. Yeah. It's okay. I really hope Amy doesn't show this one to her kid. Anyways, so the reason I bring up Heather Cox Richardson, this lovely, lovely lady, is because you, me, and Dupree. Now, if I can actually set this up real quickly, like right here. Welcome to the future. Oh, I got it. It's sitting up on my desk. Okay. Okay. I need to clean my desk. Let's all take a breather. I know we got excited there, but this is not a smut channel. And this ain't no vampire smut. What are you girls reading? Why do you read such weird shit? But I digress. So you, me, and Dupree can handle 5 to 6 thoughts in our head at any given moment, okay? And so these thoughts, actually we're going to go back here. So we're going to put me over here. We're going to put, actually this one's going to be Dan Lamborghini. And we're going to give him llama hair. Okay, so there's Dan Lamborghini, and here's his thoughts. And he can have thoughts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, we don't need that right now. Okay, and that's really a 6. That's a 6. Then each one of these gets their own little circle. Okay, so what's thought 1? Job. I was going to say the job that I have to do. Thought 2. Learning. What am I learning? Thought 3. Exercise. Okay. Thought 4. The ladies. Oh, you can't see any of these? Okay, it's good to know. It's good to know. Thanks for the feedback. We're going to... Oh, there we go. Okay. But I'm actually going to resize this and clear it all out. I don't know. Look at that. Whoa. There's dance. Whoa, dance. No. You should learn logic and critical thinking and get a gun, motherfucker. What's up? Stand in the house. Big Dan. Okay. Could you fucking grow up? I'm just going to do a new one. Here, but I don't actually know how to use this app, so I'm gonna go here, new sketch, and yeah, sure, I'll create that. That sounds great, and I'll save that to gallery because we want to remember that one forever, don't we, guys? So, here's the thing. So you've got your thoughts, and I'm just gonna call thought 1, life, okay, and life's gonna look like what you do through your day-to-day actions, okay. Thought 2 is gonna be like your job. Thought 3 is going to be family. And we're already pretty, maxed out, right? Well, what they want to do is occupy your thoughts. And so that's where Heather Cox Richardson comes in. Anyone with an H and an R and is a woman in their name, and especially HCR, those initials, watch out for all of them. They're all bad. Thank you, Hillary Rodham Clinton. What they want to do is they want to occupy your thoughts. They want to fill your thoughts. So the worst thing that could ever happen to any of us, as much like Dan says, is independent thought. Okay? Because if you start thinking your own thoughts, how are we supposed to go to the bank? And how are we supposed to keep the economy going and the GDP going? How are you all supposed to go work and do everything if you're thinking your own thoughts? Maybe you might think you don't want to work so much. Maybe you might think you don't need that new Audi and that you could just be happy with your used Honda Accord. And then, man, if everybody was just happy with their used Honda Accords, the whole fucking economy would fall apart. What the fuck is is wrong with you guys? You gotta fucking hate each other and hate your fucking job and go buy shit. Otherwise, it don't fucking work no more. So that's where she comes in. So Heather Cox Richardson does a daily newsletter, and that daily newsletter is like a software patch for your mental video game. Okay, so you want to play League of Legends, you're going to have to get the latest patch update, or maybe Soraka's broken, and we got to fix Soraka because she can't be throwing out that much healing energy, okay? We got to nerf her a little bit, okay? But this is the narrative control. So Scott, I wrote down a list here, but Scott Adams is like another example of it. Where are we? Fox News is another one of it. MSNBC. So think about your boomer parents who sit around watching CNN, Fox News, MSNBC all day long, and try talking to them about politics. Okay? You can't talk to a boomer about politics if that boomer gets all of their information from one news site, because it has taken over their consciousness, okay? It's taken one of those, actually it's taken like 3 of those 6 thoughts that they're able to think about all the time, and then it implants their narrative in it, and then they can like control them like a sock puppet. And then you have things like skin suits. And so skin suits, like the best example would be Tucker Carlson and how all the liberals are, listening to Tucker Carlson now. Tucker Carlson has snuck into the left-wing movement, even though he's also like a right populist or whatever. But like he's now in there, and what's going to happen is they're going to all watch Tucker Carlson and being like, man, I believe Tucker Carlson and blah, 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 blah. And so he can do it. Meanwhile, you have like Matt Taibbi, Glenn Greenwald, and Michael Schellenberger infiltrating the right, and they're skin suiting them and they're giving them puppets. And make sure you tune in tomorrow for the next episode of Timcast. That way we can talk about the next thing that we can hype, that we have to hype all the time, and everything has to be hyped and so extreme because we're so dopamine phone-brained. Like, they fucking tortured us for so long with their bullshit information and propaganda that we all have to be stressed out all the fucking time. And then we're like, oh man, it's not 2020 anymore. This is boring. Like, there's a part, like, I'm not going to say there's a part, but there's some dark corner of my mind that hopes Antifa just pops off so I have something to look at and be like, man, that's crazy bullshit. But I do want to talk about Antifas in a second. It's actually the next thing. So you have thoughts, and they want your mental real estate. That's it. They want to occupy your mental real estate. And so let's just take these little Antifa shits, okay? Let's actually backtrack a little bit in case anybody who's like, I don't know what Antifa, like all of you guys do, but let's just say like, one of your kids starts watching this channel, which God forbid, and good for them. And good luck. And you're good parents. Jacob 2028 will kill the pedos. The Antifas. So, I'm looking for an entry point into this. And I've got one. And I talk about the great John Robb. I haven't talked about him in a while, but John Robb, Brave New War. Brave New War, The Next Stage of Terrorism and the End of Globalization, hardcover, 420! 2007, The End of Globalization, and he wrote this shit 18 years ago. Okay? And I'm not going to read the tweet and everything, but we were having an online conversation. John Robb and I are online friends. And it was something about Antifa, and specifically it was about, here's the thing about Antifa, and this is where the Trump administration is going to fall into problems with them. I think they'll be able to get around, and I'm going to, cite Dan Lamborghini and also Karlin Boroshenko. Karlin Boroshenko, this chick. Where's her X account? That should be like the first thing that pops up. But I guess they won't do whatever that is. I guess we'll just go to her. She's 44, libertarian, Boston University, Capella. Man, she is using Botox and filters and shit. Anyways, Carlin is, I don't know, she was a really interesting person on X a while ago, and I think she's got crazy eyes. So take a look at this. I want you all to pay attention to this picture right here. This picture right here, since you can't see my pointer. Do you see the whites around her eyes? Often when people have whites around their eyes, they got PTSD and they're crazy. Okay, so that's just a sign to look for. I don't even think I can make my eyes that big. Dennis, you tell me. Anyways, like, she had whatever her problem was on X, and like friggin' husband's weirdo or whatever it was, and some like celebrity drama. But she spent like 5 years investigating Antifa, and now she's kind of like the Antifa person. And so Dan S turned me on to her. I watched one of her episodes. She's really prickly and hard to talk to. She's like, I fought with her once on X, and she's just kind of a pain in the ass. But that's where this stuff comes from. So, part of it comes from. And also, this guy right here, John Robb. So, the thing that people say about Antifa is like, Antifa doesn't exist. They're just anti-fascist. They're just against fascist. How course they're good. If you don't like Antifa, you like fascism. Okay? So that's how they operate. Or that's how they like excuse it or whitewash it or whatever. And so they're like, show me the formal structure of Antifa. Well, good luck doing that, because, you know, you can have like a local chapter, and there are chapters. They've got books. They've got merch. Like, this thing that doesn't exist has both books and merch and meetup groups and book fairs and social hour clubs and does training workshops and everything else. But they don't exist. But that's also kind of true. So here's what Antifa is. It is a decentralized terrorist network. And so maybe I'll do iPads. And so iPads. So Daddy J, that's my, whatever, Harry Potter. There's my book. So there's my book. Daddy J writes a book. And then Daddy J distributes this book. And this book is How to Fuck Shit Up. Okay? So the How to Fuck Shit Up book right there. And then what I do is I hand it to this person. And 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 so on and so forth for infinity. What happens is these people wind up becoming foot soldiers in the movement. And so this person can go hand out this book to other people. And these people get it, and then they hand it out to other people's. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. And it starts replicating, okay? And there is no formal structure. Anybody can, here's the book. The book is How to Fuck Shit Up. Five friends and go fuck shit up with them, okay? The end. That's the book. And so, and that's going to be the followers of Jay. And so the followers of Jay go out and they go fuck shit up, and then they're like, oh my god, we have to get the formal structure of Jay. They can come after me, Jay, but the book's already been written. The book has already been distributed. It is available to everybody in the world who wants to get it. Just go find the download, get that book, and then run with it. And so I was talking with John Robb, and I was like, you know what's really neat is how, you know, you can have some weird leftoids write a book, and then they just go run off and just do their own fucking thing, and it's this giant distributed network, and all you had to do is write a book, and now you can fucking have a giant political movement that goes crazy as shit. Like the Communist Manifesto. Okay, so talking to him and you write your book. So this book is how jihadis were able to use Twitter and smartphones to basically make decentralized terrorist cells. Like, let me ask all of you in the audience, if the lights went out in Bellingham, Washington, and I could never talk to you again, and you guys could never talk to each other again, do you think you could figure out how to fuck some shit up? And do you think you could teach people how to fuck some shit up? That's how it works. It's distributed. It's out there. And so we have everybody competing for your mental real estate, okay? So while Heather Cox Richardson is trying to get your brain, so are the terrorists, okay? The terrorists are trying to get in your brain, and they're trying to tear down, like, America. Sorry, I'm getting, like, off the track. I started watching this season of Slow Horses, and it's like the episodes, or the season's My Greatest Fears. Jacob's Greatest Fears, the episode. And I just checked the time, so I'm going to move on to the next point. I'm sorry I didn't bookmark that too well, bookend that well, but that's the gist. I think you guys get the gist. And then we have fat generals. So Pete Hegseth was like, hey. Pete Hegseth, Pete the Sow. Pepe Hegseth. Needs to be account. Search at Pepe Hegseth. I might have my new Twitter account. Anyways, Pete Hegseth. Isn't that a good one? Is that a good one? Guys, did I just do a good one? Dennis, you tell me. So Pete Hegseth, it's got some Iron Crosses in there. American Crusade. Oh, look, there's one of these anti-fascists. Oh, weird. He's part of the DAFO. Oh, and he's on Blue Sky and Mastodon with all the chomos. Pete Hegseth, Fat Generals. Let's see if that shows up. Fat Generals with an S. We won World War II with 7-4, but that's a long time ago. Fat generals are unacceptable. Yesterday, Pete Hegseth got up in front of the country and called our military a bunch of fat asses. Okay, not in those exact words. What he actually said was, frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations or really any formation and see fat troops. The View called this fat shaming. And to that I say, so what? A 2023 report found that nearly 70% of active duty troops were overweight or obese. Son of a bitch. Which should shock you. It certainly shocked. It just shocked me. The military should be aspirational, discipline, and be a bag of dicks. So long story short, Pete Hegseth called all the generals together, and everybody's like, oh my god, if you call the generals together, what if Al-Qaeda blows up the generals? What are we going to fucking do? You mean the Al-Qaeda that we fucking fund and give weapons to? Those are the people you're talking about? Oh, the Russians who fucking, whatever his name is, the guy with all the weird art in his house, and John Podesta, like, fucking sold a bunch of weapons to, like, those Russians, or like the Iranians, and actually the Iranians are kind of a problem. If I'm going to be honest, my biggest concern is foreign agents who are opposed to the United States of America, because I am a patriot and I love my country very much. But foreign agents who find disaffected Americans and turn them into domestic T-words. That's my biggest fear. That's legit my biggest concern. And also mixed with the fucking tons of terrorists that are already here right now. Anyways, so he came up, and let's just fucking, I'm just going to get rid of this and close the window, because I got to go pick up my kid at some point and do some other shit. Why do we have a transgender military? Why do we have fucking fat people in the military? And I'm fat as shit, so I'm talking about me too. And why do we have women as combat troops who can't do pull-ups? So you can't meet the physical standards, like as far as, being able to carry around your gun. You're emotionally screwed up. And you're also in situations you have no business being in for equality, because, like, Lizzo's beautiful and we should all be Lizzo or something. I think Lizzo, by the way, and also Tess Holiday were like they were psyops by some fitness chicks who were just like, you know what, we should do healthy at any size. We should encourage and fuck it. It was Ozempic. It was the GLP-1s. What they're gonna do, they're just like, okay, we got this drug. Like, it's eventually going to get it's going to get approved. And so what we're going to do is we're going to convince everybody to go out and get fat, because fat's beautiful and fat's healthy, like healthy at any size and all that stuff, right? And so then they're going to be like, oh, and then we're going to share memes about, it's my birthday. I'm going to eat the whole cake. I'm going to get a whole cake for my birthday. I've done that, by the way, because of Lizzo. Lizzo told me to eat a cake for my birthday, and I did. For fucking 4 years. That's why I've got 50 pounds of fat to lose. Actually, it's more like 40 now, so God bless. Anyways, and so then it's like we can sell more GLP-1s, or they could sell more fitness courses, or they could just be like, they don't have as much competition. But then they all decide to be cut their hair and be lesbians. So like their competition is, I don't know, different women beating that ass. I don't know, fuck, whatever. But you know why we have all this stuff in the military? Well, all this preposterous shit in the military, it's feminism. It's the fucking feminists. And let's just go through the iterations of feminism real quickly. Iteration 1, maybe men shouldn't drink and beat their wives. That was it, man. Alcoholism. Do you know why we banned alcohol in this country? Because guys would go home and beat their fucking wives and children during the Industrial Revolution because their jobs suck so bad that they'd go home, drink a fifth, and then fucking wail on the family. And the women rose up and said, you know what, this ain't good. And I agree with them, okay? Fucking make a Muslim out of me, I'll get rid of your distilled alcohol. I'll fucking chop the heads off of some weed dealers. You don't want Jacob's dictatorship, guys. You kind of do, actually, but it's going to be a rough couple of years. Your freedoms are going to go down the toilet. And by your freedoms going down the toilet, you're going to be more free. And I'm going to let you chew on that one. Okay, that's one I'm not going to explain. I will limit your freedoms, and as a result, you will be more free. If you have any questions about what I mean by that, please let me know. What the fuck are these guys doing? So I've got contractors beating on my house right now. I'm not even going to talk about what's going on with that, because that's just fucking, you think my show's depressing now. But I think the feminists are screwed largely, because here's the thing. Here's what feminism did. We got to talk about J.K. Rowling. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my screen again. I wasn't going to do this again, but I just remember that bitch. Let's go J.K. Rowling. Let's go to X. Boom. And let's go ahead and open this one up right here. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we're going to go there. Display capture. We'll go here and we'll go X. Press OK. Then we're going to go here and we're going to do J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling. Because it was just it was pretty good. But this is something, in regards to like the skin suits and everything. J.K. Rowling's one of them. And I'll figure, I think I know how I'm going to do this. I think she's going to find that you can't sit on the fence. The real win is when ordinary people can say these things. Derry B. She speaks to Jeff about Emma Watson's comments about J.K. Rowling, blah, 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 blah. I don't even need to go through all this because I'm just going to read J.K.'s response. Wherever it may be. And it's pretty good. And then all the right wing, everybody's like, yay. And the normie conservative, yay. She's one of us now. She's like Glenn Greenwald. Okay. So I'm going to read this whole thing. I'm going to read this book to you guys, but it's worth it, okay? J.K. Rowling really is a great writer. I'm seeing quite a bit of comment about this, so I want to... maybe I should use my best British accent. So I want to make a couple of points. I'm not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking with the boss I had when I was 21 for what opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are legally protected, and I wouldn't want to see any of them threatened with the loss of work, violence, death because of them. However, Emma and Daniel Radcliffe, in particular, have both made it clear over the last few years that they think our former professional association gives them a particular right, nay, obligation, to critique me and my views in public, years after they finish acting in Potter. They continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. When you've known people since they were 10 years old, it's hard to shake a certain protectiveness. Until quite recently, I hadn't managed to throw off the memory of the children who needed to be gently coaxed through the dialogue in a big scary film studio. For the past few years, I have repeatedly declined invitations from journalists to comment on Emma specifically, most notably the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. Ironically, I told the producers that I didn't want her to be hounded as a result of anything I I said. The television presenter in the attached clip highlights Emma's All Witches speech, and in truth, that was a turning point for me, but it had been a postscript that hurt far more than the speech itself. Emma asked someone to pass on a handwritten note from her to me, which contained the single sentence, "I am so sorry for what you're going through." She has my phone number. This was back when the death, rape, and torture threats against me were at their peak, at a time when my personal security measures had to be tightened considerably, and I was constantly worried for my family's safety. Emma had just publicly poured more petrol on the flames, yet thought a one-line expression of concern from her would reassure me of a fundamental sympathy and kindness. Like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life, she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. She's on that side that I was talking about earlier, who, like, people who don't know shit think they know everything. Okay, where are we going? How ignorant she is. She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed on a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high-street changing room since childhood. Her public bathroom is a single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. Has she had to strip off in a newly mixed-sex changing room at a council-run swimming pool? Is she ever likely to need a state-run rape crisis center that refuses to guarantee an all-female service? To find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who's identified into the woman's prisoner? I wasn't a multi-millionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I therefore understand why my own life experience, what the trashing of women's rights in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated means to women and girls without her privileges. The greatest irony here is that had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tact that I suspect she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was, I might never have been this honest. Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love, as though the friend, and I really want to bookmark, let's talk about that in a second, as though a friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me, and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right, and I finally decided to exercise it. And so Dennis said, Rowling ate up rots, and I hope Emma's just crying into a pillow. For days over this one. Like, that's brutal. That is a brutal fucking takedown. Don't mess with somebody like J.K. Rowling. Wordsmith, getting in fights with, like, pissed off European billionaire wordsmiths ain't a fight you want. Okay? Like, much like whoever that gay black guy was on CNN who fucking Brie loved to glaze. Don't fuck with white people. We don't play. Okay? And that's true. That's really fucking true, okay? Like, the reason, I don't believe this white supremacy argument, the nature of white people, and white people are so fucking awful and bad, but goddamn are white people good at violence. Don't mess with us, even though I'm like a Chicano white person, but fucking same shit. Anyway, so let's just go here real quickly. And so don't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination. And the tide's turning, Dennis. We've talked about this. The Antifa shit's going to go away eventually. We got 4 years of this shit, 5 years of this shit, maybe a little bit longer, but it's got a shelf life, guys. But remember how fucking awful people were you into 2020? It's like, oh my God, you hung out with somebody in person? You're a Nazi. You're a fascist. Fuck you. I hope you get COVID and die. Never forget who these people are. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? I had a friend, Elijah, I'll call him out by name, who stopped being friends with me because I said January 6th was a riot and not an insurrection. And and because of the word I used, I said it's not an insurrection, unfriended me. Okay? So now there was 274 fucking FBI agents in the crowd. So not only did the top shelf Ray and Comey or whatever it was Ray, but that kind of ideology of the FBI set their soldiers out to get in the middle of a mob. There was probably some instigation by those feds, okay? So the insurrection, the Fedsurrection, the fucking international intelligence agency insurrection, that thing, I don't need to take Elijah back, ever. I'm going to go to a funeral next week. Dan S., I'm going to be in Albuquerque, by the way. I think Thursday, I'm going to try to get everybody to go Flying Star. That's basically best I got. To be able to see everybody. Amy, if you're also on later, that's when I'll be available. But Wednesday, I'll probably go to a funeral. And there's people that I don't want to see who will be at that funeral. So I had a nice talk with AI and said, how would Machiavelli treat dealing with people you don't want to see at a funeral, but you have to see them and you used to be friends and you got some bad blood? Because, baby, now we got bad blood. You know. Anyways, I'm not going to fucking do that. I don't have time for Taylor right now, bitch. Actually, I like some Taylor Swift. Okay, I really do. Look forward to seeing you. What up? Oh, yeah, Brian Clark's in the house! Thursday, Flying Star, Paseo in Wyoming. I don't know what time. If Sean's there, I want you to hump him with me. But I digress. I don't even know where Sean works anymore. So until we see Sean, we keep it in our pants. Dicks in pants until we see Sean. Then we pull him out for Charlie. Dicks out for Charlie, everybody. But let's just go back to this shit real quickly. So, all right. So, here comes, J.K. Rowling was like, I'm going to go ahead and open this son of a bitch up. Boom, boom, 2 slugs. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Fucking 2 things of buckshot. Same time. Double barrels. Get both them barrels. Okay, great. Good for J.K., right? Oh, she's shitting on the trans people because there shouldn't be chicks with dicks in girls' bathrooms. I am inclined to agree. Okay? However, as bad as the trans thing is, and I would argue it's pretty bad, it ain't as bad as the grooming rape gangs in the UK, specifically in England, that were swept under the rug for fucking decades. Okay? So you have decades of Pakistani men gang raping poor women, and J.K. Rowling fucking supports it. Because she can't bash immigrants because that would make her a mean, bad person. You can't. We're all the same. We're interchangeable people. We're all the fucking same. She's just a goddamn shit lib, okay? I like the fact that she shit on Emma Watson because I don't like Emma Watson, but it's not like I fucking like J.K. Rowling, okay? We agree on something. We're pushing in the same direction, but nonetheless, she's still a feminist fucking shit lib who doesn't give a fuck about women. The reason that there's so many R words that happen in the fucking Western world is, well, specifically in Europe, is because it's just been flooded with Muslims. Can we call a spade a spade? Can we call a fucking spade a spade? It's not white European men who are running around raping women in Germany and fucking grabbing their asses. They're all from North Africa. All of them are from North Africa. And they're all fucking, 90% of them are Muslims from North Africa, okay? Which she supports. She still supports it. She doesn't condemn it. She doesn't have anything to fucking say about it whatsoever. So she's going to go after this little, top shelf, I don't want a man in my bathroom. But she's never, ever, ever going to have to worry about some guy grabbing her ass and assaulting her because she's surrounded by security guards all the same. It's the same fucking liberal elitism shit that brought us to this fucking point in the first place. And now they're crying for help. Okay? Okay, was it men who came along and said, you know what, I want girls, you know what, a woman is a woman if she says she's a woman. Was there a man who came up with that? Was there fucking men who are just like, you know what, Dennis, you know what, Brian, you know what, we could be chicks too. I think it's cool. I think it's fucking great. I think, if you guys want to cut off your dicks, that's awesome. I think that's normal. That's normal. It's normal to cut off. No. It was one sex that came up with that, okay? Now, granted, you have the gays and whatever, but like, okay, so there's the margins, okay? There's the shit that happens on the margins. There's the outliers. Yeah, sure, of course, there's going to be some guys like that, but it's like, 10% of guys versus 90% of guys. I'm going to talk about the 90% of guys, not the 10% of guys versus like 50% of women who are like, yeah, I think that makes sense. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Like Emily would be a good example. Oh, yeah, no trans. I think there's 47 trans. I might be trans too because the fucking machine told me I might be trans. And so it's like, oh, we'll go ahead and invite all these fucking weirdos. Like, why can't I say somebody who wants to cut off their dick is a weirdo? Is it men who came up with... No, there's no man who's going to be like, hey, you know what, Jacob? You really shouldn't say it's weird that guys want to cut off their dicks and say that they're women. But there's a lot of nannies who will. And they will be like, nah. And it's not like I'm saying there's not trans people. Okay, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. I actually think there are trans people, and I'm going to say that some of them might even be very fine people, and some of them might not even be mentally ill. There's people who have like weird chromosomes going on, and I'm not even talking about like intersex. There's people who have chromosome networks that are women's that are in men's bodies. So basically, like they're like if you think about how much hormones run the fucking show, they've got like endocrine systems and brains of women, but they're in men's bodies. That happens. That much. Okay? That much. 99% of this stuff is fucking mental illness because we live in a very sick society. Everybody's on drugs. Everybody's online way too much. We eat unhealthy food, and this shit's been going on for decades, and everybody's crazy. So everybody's going crazy, and that's it. That's the whole fucking story. Okay? So there's that. And then there's like, oh my God, there's these Muslims who got rid of our gay pride days in the city. Because we brought him into the city council, we let him take over the city council, and now we don't get gay stuff anymore. Please help us. Fucking women need to be protected from themselves. Like, and I'm not saying we should get rid of women or like even better, but they need to be protected from themselves. And we also need women to like soften things, okay, guys? Like, we really need women to just be like, bro, can you calm down? I'll S your D, whatever it is. Please calm down before you go genocidal and be like, you're right, babe. I was just getting too genocidal for a second there. Got all excited. I was on the Corona Cafe. We're talking about J.K. Rowling and things got heated and I fucking killed 1 million people. Sorry. So we need women to temper our swords, okay? Really. We really do. So I'm not advocating for, like whatever that weird fucking vampire kink rape fantasy stuff where all the women are wearing a Handmaid's Tale, like fucking rape fantasy porn. Why do you guys read the weirdest shit in the world? Why? Like, I'm reading about the Spanish Civil War like a normal person. Anyways, so my point is I think the feminists are just fucked. Like, I think the shit libs are just in so much fucking trouble because of the shit lib women. Like, they're fucking dumb shits. They're like, oh my God, we were actually wrong about the Muslims, but you can't kick them out. Actually, we don't like guys being in our bathrooms, but you can't kick them out because that might be something mean to say. Give me a fucking break. So I'm becoming more outspoken with these things. And I'm talking to progressive men about this stuff, and they're like, yeah. All you got to do is go first, guys. All you got to do is go first and just be like, this is some fucking bullshit. And the women are going to make faces. No offense, Ray Ray. You're not, we fucking, we're really cool. We're really cool. But you know the women I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm also not saying men are better than women, by the way. We're different. All I'm saying is that we're different. I'm going to read some comments, and then I'm probably going to need to go in a minute here. Everyone is going crazy. In this Brian Clark, everyone is going crazy, and it takes much more effort to remain keep and find one's own sanity in the mix. Ray, I am surprised I'm mostly sane right now. Well, let's talk two things here. Everyone is going crazy. My advice to everyone, as a context, I'm on, like, Let me put it this way. This is what I've concluded. I don't think social media is good for people. I think it is a failed mistake. I think we need to get off social media as fast as humanly fucking possible. Because we're trained, like, these tech companies aren't our friends. I don't think, like, tech has really helped us that much. I think technology has helped us, but, like, I was much happier without this fucking thing. I never wanted this thing. It's because the most evil girlfriend I ever had bought me one, and then I got into the ecosystem as a result of it. Okay? But, like, I was still like, I don't want this again. And I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. And then fucking dopamine brained. So this is a fucking mistake. And then social media being on this thing was a giant mistake. Like, okay, narcissism run a fucking amok. So not only are people not funny anymore, like, watch out for people who don't have senses of humor. Okay? I'm not going to say it's the number one threat, but number one threat, if somebody's not funny, fucking run. If somebody can't laugh at a joke, run. That is a manipulator, okay? If they don't have the creativity to make a joke or understand a joke or appreciate your joke or understand that a joke is a fucking joke, they are running a script in their brain that is, I need to get what I want. The end. And then I'm going to go to Ray Ray's and then Dan S's comment and probably wrap it up. So you're surprised by... I'm surprised I'm mostly sane right now. Yeah, you've been through the fucking ringer. I'm not going to lie about that, Ray Ray. But here's the thing. You're a sane person. Like, you're not insane. You're a sane person in a crazy world. There's a big difference. So crazy makes you crazy. If you're around a bunch of crazy people, you're going to do some crazy shit. But I don't think there's anything wrong with you. Like, there's nothing wrong with your brain. You've got a healthy brain. Which is how you're able to stay sane and just, like, I don't know, hashtag real talk. You're pretty much, like, well connected to reality. And that's what tethers you. And I don't think you're in this weird digital realm. And I don't think you're on Snapchat. I don't think you have Snapchat brain. Okay, and then Dan Lamborghini. The key is to escape. The key to escaping the crazy of mouse colony collapse is to stop accepting free food. Beautiful, beautiful one to end on, Dan S. I use AI almost every day, pretty much every day. But what I do first now is I deliberately think through the problem. Like I use my brain to come up with a solution to the problem, or even to come up with a question and establish some kind of framework before I go to the AI and spitball ideas with it. And so just going like back and forth, but it's still training the brain. Like, we have to maintain our cognitive senses and work our brains and exercise it and read hard things. Amusing ourselves to death. Hard book to read. Read hard things. Read hard things. Think every single day. Try to work out problems before you go to AI straight for an answer, and then go to it, and it'll be more fulfilling. One last thing real quickly. I'm sorry, and I will get to your comment in just a second, Ray Ray, but it's like, there's a free course I'm doing. Learn to Learn course. Here we go. So this is in Coursera. Learning how to learn. Powerful mental tools to help you master through subjects. It's Dr. Barbara Oakley and whatever his name is. Dr. Karen Sejnowski. A couple of neuroscientists. So this course is free to audit. If you want to actually take the course, it's $49. I'm not doing that. I'm just auditing it. But what I'm doing is learning how to learn. Like, just what are the different types of learning? How can I actively do this? How can I more deliberately do this? How can I deliberately use my brain? And then what I'm going to learn is rhetoric and debate. Because what I found out is that I need, and Dennis, we should probably riff sometime about this. Not in the stream. What I'm finding is I'm going out in the world and I'm talking to people about their problems or whatever. Oh man, I really have to go soon. and talk about whatever's going on in the world. But again, I live in liberal land. Okay, I'm in the West Coast. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in the most progressive city in the world, as a context. As a result of that, like I'm not going to say that I need to watch what I say, but I need to be deliberate in how I say it so I don't alienate the audience, and also I can help bring them on board and whatever. There's a way of talking to people, of structuring an argument and controlling stuff. So when people get like emotionally activated about something, I can be like, hey, look, let's isolate that, deal with it, put it to the side, get back to the conversation, and use the tools of rhetoric and debate as a way of having structured conversations, talk with people about the things in the world. Because we need to talk to people about these things and say, hey guys, guess what? We might be wrong about civilization and how we're doing everything. And guess what? Things are going to change real fucking fast. And guess what? When all this violence and collapse and crazy shit starts happening, we will have the ability to talk to our friends and family and loved ones about this. Create a little like insular tribe and have that insular tribe protect us until like we get to the other side of whatever the fuck this is. Okay, so Ray, I was made to believe I was in a psychosis for a while dating the Monster Man. Glad I was smart enough to ask questions. Me too. And you might have been in a psychosis. Like, I've been in a psychosis before. I've been through that for a while. And ultimately, the biggest problem was bad sleeping schedule, smoking weed all the fucking time, and hanging out with shitheads. If you hang out with shitheads, fucking run. Get rid of them. Crazy makes you crazy. Crazy makes you crazy. If you hang out with crazy people all the time, you will go fucking crazy. None of us can protect ourselves from that. Dan Lamborghini, I talk about that subject with my dad often. Structuring language is a hard skill to pick up. It takes a lot of practice. So if you remember, like, you know, habits, and we talked about habits in the early days of the Corona Cafe, it's 5 years later, guys. I've done a lot of talking to a screen. And I've also been reading books out loud. So it's like, hey kids, broken beyond repair. After a while, Elsa was able to... Really, that's what I talk about all the time. Fucking Anna and Elsa. Which I'm actually beginning to love. We'll talk about Frozen next time. I'm going to go, guys. I got to go pick up my kiddo from school. Love you guys. Angels on your pillow. Fucking say your prayers at night. Pray for your friends. Pray for your enemies. Pray to be delivered from evil. God bless. Jacob 2028.